So I wanted to make a quick video to just basically go over the kind of fitness tracker that I picked up and kind of explain why I got it and why I felt it was the right time to go ahead and get something like this. So at the end of June, before the race that I had on the 4th of July, um, I had been looking around at fitness trackers for a while, and I wanted to get something before the race because I wanted to get something that actually accurately, or more accurately than I could just assess, of my performance on that day. So what I ended up getting was just the Garmin Forerunner 45. I was looking for 55, but I went to three different stores here in town and none of them had them. They all had 45s in stock, so I ended up getting that. And it's, if I'm not mistaken, it is Garmin's lowest tier price range as far as fitness trackers goes. It Walmart, you can get it for, like, I think it was about $150. In any case, it turns out that I'm perfectly satisfied with what I picked up. It's doing exactly what I need it to do without doing so much extra that is just uh, information that, it's not that I'm not interested in it, it's just information that I have no agency over. I cannot use this information to incorporate it into my lifestyle now. So the reason I was really looking at one of these was because I didn't want to have to try to remember what I was doing, what kind of workouts I was doing, or for how long I was doing them, or for what distance I was going um, over a period of time. I didn't want to have paper that I would write it down on and lose it. So just having something that I can offload that chore onto without having to consciously keep track of this every time I want to go and do something was really helpful. Now, I still have to go into some of the activities and tweak a few of the numbers, but that is by far a price I'm willing to pay for this. Did I absolutely need something like this? No, absolutely, clearly not. Um, I could have been doing just fine with the level of unfitness that I have right now with it, and just made the same or similar types of changes in this amount of time without having to have something monitoring heart rate. And I know it's not a heart rate monitor strapped to your chest, but it's a pretty good estimation based off of how I feel at a time. One thing I have really liked about it is not just the fitness tracker itself, but the fact that it syncs with Garmin Connect, which is basically their app slash dashboard website that just lays out all the activities that you've done and gives assessments of, like, just it'll track your splits, it'll track your laps, um, all your activities, track your calorie burn, the steps that you're taking, um, the your weight, your hydration, you can record blood pressure measurements on there as well, and just keeping it all in one place rather than having it in separate places. And that is the fact that you can do all of that without it's not a subscription service. It is free with, in fact, I think you can even use Garmin Connect without even having a Garmin fitness tracker, but you have to manually upload all your activities and all the details, and that's just a level of detail that it was just not going to happen with me. I was not going to do that manually every time I wanted to do something. So, um, also the so that's what it does. Why did I think it was right for me to go ahead and get? The reason for this is, if anybody knows me, I do love me some numbers. So I like being able to see how far I went on a given day at a given time. I like being able to track distances. Also, I've been a gamer all my life, so I really am interested in something that can sort of turn the mindset from a job I have to do into a game I'm playing, where basically my body is the controller. So I now have basically a way to raise some high scores or lower them depending on what type of measurement that I'm looking at time, be it distance or time to completion. Also, as this is true for a lot of gamers, it's not true for all of them, but I am also an achievement hunter. So the badges that they've incorporated into it just kind of encourage a certain number of engagement, a certain amount of engagement over a period of time for certain activities, for certain durations, over a certain short measurement of time. Really just um, jabs at that dopamine button in my brain saying, yes, you want more of this. So it's something that I really think meshes well with the way I like to approach games. And if it's something that keeps me doing it, I think it's a benefit for it. So I think the cost um, is offset by the benefits that I get from it. Now there are some measurements that the measurement I'm about to mention. There are going to be some people that watch this and goes, "Oh, he doesn't need to know that." Now there's nothing that he can use that information for, and you're absolutely right. So the measurement that I'm talking about is this one right here. So this is the VO2 max score that I got. It was just, when was it? I think it was right after the 4th of July race. So, long story short, without getting into any serious details, VO2 max score is basically how efficiently your body uses the oxygen that you're breathing in and putting into the work itself. So, explain it like I'm a caveman: high numbers good, low numbers bad. So I knew going into this, before even strapping this to my wrist, that I was going to be pegged in the red. And you can see that's exactly what I got. And I upped my activity level throughout the month of July. And even though I was not obsessed over this number, that's not the number that I'm wanting to focus on right now. My weight and my duration of how long I can run. Those are the two primary things that I want. Well, what weight I want to decrease, time I can run, I want to increase. But I wanted to see this number move just a little bit. Just give me a nudge that that an outside monitor acknowledges that something has changed over the last month. And I know that overall it's very hard to move the needle on that measurement, especially in the higher it gets, the harder it is to move it higher. So throughout every couple of days or maybe once a week or so, I would go into Garmin and I would see this screen right here, this very screen that you're looking at, all through the month of July. And I kept seeing 32, 32. And oh, by the way, I should mention there's also some other fine print there that says that your fitness age is 72 years old, which I mentioned this to my brother, and his response was sort of tongue in cheek that I should take the watch back, that I shouldn't have to take that level of disrespect from just something I'm strapping to my wrist. And that's sort of like shooting the messenger. So even if it's bad news, I want it. You wouldn't go to a doctor after, let's say that you hadn't been to a doctor in 10, 15 years, and it's now time that you go. You don't want the doctor just to only give you the good news about you. Because, I mean, yeah, it's the good news is great. You want to hear it, but it's the bad news is that you need to take action on, and you need to know that. So I knew this score was going to be bad. Just having the watch go, yeah, it's pretty average for a 72-year-old man. I'm 45 years old, by the way. So that's that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Nevertheless, I know over time, eventually, that VO2 max score goes up, the fitness age comes down, and it'll all work itself out in the end. So I kept, like I said, every couple of days, maybe once a week throughout the month of July, I would be seeing this screen. And well done if you've already spotted it, because it wasn't until like the 29th of July that I noticed some more fine print on that screen. The fact that it hadn't been synced since July 7th, and that sort of confused me because my watch syncs all the time. So I had to go in and try and figure out why is my watch syncing and keeping all of my activities up to date and tracking my heart rate and tracking the calories and tracking my sleep, but that wasn't syncing. And then I went online and I found out that the way these Garmin fitness trackers, at least the ones that I've got, since VO2 max is actually, if you wanted to go get tested in a lab, they would strap a respirator on you. But the fitness trackers don't do that, obviously. They do it using the activities that you perform and the heart rate that you achieve during those activities, but it's not every activity. And that was the problem, because the VO2 max score only gets modified by, I'm going to get this wrong, by outdoor running and outdoor cycling activities. Indoor running, indoor cycling don't count. So I mentioned in a previous video that I was having trouble with my knee and that I was cutting out running and I was switching to walking more, cycling, rowing machine, and elliptical. None of those you'll probably take stock are outdoor running or outdoor cycling, because I use a bike. I use a stationary bike. So my last run when my knee was hurting was July 7th. That was the last time it recorded something that affected VO2 max, which is why I was seeing this score. Now, a couple of days later, on August 1st, I did want to go out, and my knee has not been causing a problem for at least 2 weeks now. By the way, as I'm recording this, it is August 10th, so we're talking over a week and a half ago. So on August 1st, I wanted to try running. So I knew a route around my house. It was a little over a mile. I just wanted to run it and see how I felt. And it went great. So it was the first time I ran a whole mile without stopping. So I think it was run in, I don't remember the number offhand, but the record, the recording shows that it's about 13:28, I think is what it said that I did a mile in. But I ran, the total distance I ran was about maybe 1.1 miles at the time. But the best part of that was that my knee didn't hurt afterwards. So I'm not going to say that, oh, everything is perfect and right with the world with my knee. I'll just crank out, run it every day. No. I know the reality of that. Every time my foot hits the ground, that's another rep on that knee. That, how long can it just sustain that? I just don't know. So, but after that was over, as glad as I was that I felt good after that run, I wanted to go back and look at the activity on the app. And just for laughs, because this was a running exercise and it did affect VO2 max, it should have synced. I should have gotten some kind of change. And what it gave me was this. And VO2 max score has not changed, but you'll notice the fitness score now says 73 years old. So I guess the only real question left is it too late to take the watch back?